In this third and final video on sleep, we will be looking at strategies to help regulate and improve sleep. When you are unwell, for example, in the acute stages of an illness, we may need additional sleep to assist recovery. After a period of time, it is important to get our sleep back into a regular routine. In video 1, we discussed the circadian clock and how good circadian rhythms can support regulation of our body systems. There is a difference between feeling tired from lack of sleep or feeling fatigued. Fatigue is not usually improved by sleep. As we discussed in video 2, sleep allows the body and brain to heal itself. It is also a very active process, as a lot happens in each of the different stages of the sleep cycle. It is quality rather than quantity of sleep that is important in restoring the body. Unfortunately, the more sleep we have, the more sleep we will need as our body gets used to this new amount. This is often because our circadian rhythms are lost and our brain no longer knows where it is on that 24-hour cycle. Although we may think we need the sleep, this may not always be the case. As shown on this slide, there are several consequences of sleeping too much. For example, it can affect our memory and concentration, our motivation and energy levels. Our muscles and nervous system can also be affected, as can our mental well-being. Our bodies are designed to move, so being active, even at a minimal level, can help maintain the body's ability to function physically and mentally. In this part of the video, we will be looking at ways to reduce too much sleep. Some people may need more sleep than others, but usually a healthy adult will need somewhere between 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night. You can gauge what is the right amount of sleep for you by thinking about how much sleep you needed prior to feeling unwell with fatigue. If you are sleeping too much, you can reduce sleep by taking a gradual approach. You could begin by getting up earlier and going to bed later. For example, getting up 15 minutes earlier in the morning and going to bed 15 minutes later in the evening. You could then gradually extend this, perhaps by another 15 minutes, either side of the day, every 2 to 3 days, until you are back at your usual number of hours sleep per night that is normal for you. The key is to go at a pace that is manageable for you. If you find it hard to wake up or to keep awake, asking for support from a friend or family member may help. The intention is to work towards establishing a regular sleep routine rather than sleeping when you feel tired. For example, try and get up at the same time every morning. If you are feeling fatigued in the day, implementing restorative rest breaks into your daily routine can help, so that you are getting the deep levels of rest to help replenish energy levels without the need for daytime sleep. Remember, your brain is resetting itself every day and relies on cues and signals. If you are struggling to keep awake in the evening, keeping the lights a little bit brighter may help to stimulate your brain so that it stays awake. If at this stage you cannot avoid sleeping during the day, don't worry. You could begin by setting an intention to gradually reduce your daytime sleep. For example, if you are sleeping for 1 hour in the afternoon, you could begin by reducing the nap to 55 minutes. Then gradually reduce it by another 5 minutes every 2 to 3 days, or at a rate that is appropriate for you. Repeat this until you are napping, ideally for no longer than 30 minutes, as keeping to a short nap can allow for light sleep to boost alertness without entering into deep sleep. Again, it is important to go at a pace that feels manageable for you. In video 2, we discussed that a sleep cycle lasts for approximately 90 minutes. If your sleep is going into a full sleep cycle during the day, the brain is taking the cue that it is the middle of the night and sleep hormones will start to be released. Our brain then does not know where it is on that circadian clock. Hormones can start to become dysregulated, causing an imbalance in the body systems. To avoid sleeping for long periods, set an alarm and putting it on the other side of your room may help, as this will require you to get up out of bed to switch it off and reduce the likelihood of you falling back to sleep. Asking for support from someone you live with to wake you up may also be helpful. Replacing sleep with restorative rest breaks during the day can also help reduce the need for daytime napping. There are videos covering relaxation and activity management principles that you can watch to help regulate your energy levels as part of your daily routine. When you feel the need to sleep, it can be helpful to ask yourself if you are tired or fatigued. If you have slept well the night before, it is likely that you are fatigued, not tired. Remember, fatigue is not usually improved by sleep. In this part of the video, we will be discussing strategies to help improve sleep if you are not sleeping enough. Whether or not you have fatigue, it is not unusual for people to struggle with getting enough sleep at some time in their lives, whether that is due to raising a young family or trying to balance family life with work demands. If you are experiencing problems with getting to sleep, try not to panic, as one sleepless night has very little effect on the body. There are other ways that our energy gets replenished other than sleep. As discussed in video 1, are you considering your ultradian rhythm, when the body naturally experiences a dip in energy? Taking a restorative rest break every 90 minutes or so can be helpful. Getting into a regular eating regime and being mindful of how you are fueling your body can also impact on your energy levels. There is a booklet on healthy eating if this is an area you are struggling with. Even if you have several nights of poor sleep, it is important to keep to a regular routine. You may think that you can replenish your sleep by catching up with sleep during the day, but your body will naturally catch up on the deep level of sleep it has missed and engage in repair processes that are needed without the need for long periods of daytime napping. There are tips that can support you in establishing a good sleep routine. For example, applying activity management principles can help with stabilisation of fatigue and fatigue-related symptoms. There are 3 videos on activity management that you can watch to support you getting into a regular daily routine to help balance your energy levels. Establishing a routine and sticking to it is important when you are trying to regulate your sleep. No matter what your sleep was like the night before, get up at the time that you intended to in the morning. Your circadian clock is setting itself from the point you wake up. Try and keep to this regular wake-up time every day, even at weekends. If you have had 1 or 2 poor nights' sleep, you are likely to feel fatigued and may experience problems with cognitive functioning. You may need to pace yourself by putting in more restorative rest breaks in during the day. Your bedroom should be a calm, relaxed, and uncluttered space, so make sure the environment that you sleep in is conducive for sleep. For example, is the room dark enough? Is it at the right temperature for sleep? Is your bed comfortable? Do you need layers on the bed that you can put on or take off, depending on how hot or cold you get during the night? You can help train your brain to get into a good sleep pattern by associating bed with nighttime sleep. Avoid using technology or engaging in stimulating activities, such as watching the TV whilst in bed. Avoid stimulants such as caffeine and alcohol. If you struggle with sleep and caffeine affects you, avoid caffeine at least 8 to 10 hours before bed, as caffeine can stay in the system for up to 10 hours. Alcohol can also impact on the quality of our sleep, as the liver is working hard to process the alcohol, which may cause us to wake up in the early hours of the morning. Eating foods that contain tryptophan, such as milk, kiwi fruit, banana, and almonds may help, as tryptophan helps to make melatonin, the sleepy hormone. If you wake up in the night, it is not always helpful to know what time it is, as we can get stressed or frustrated if we have only been asleep for a couple of hours. Just knowing when your alarm will alert you to the time that you need to get up is all that is required. So banishing clocks from your bedroom that show the time may help. The blue light that is emitted from electronic devices can hinder the production of sleepy hormones that help us to get off to sleep. So avoid using electronic devices at least an hour before bed. Some people may find having a warm bath or shower 1 or 2 hours before bedtime helpful. Research suggests that the body's core temperature naturally cools in the hours before bedtime. Immersing the body in warm water can naturally help with temperature regulation and as a result improve sleep. Drinking a warm milky drink or sleepy herbal tea may also help to promote sleep. Engaging in relaxation techniques as part of your wind down routine may also be helpful. For example, listening to sleep stories. People may also find listening to white noise relaxing, such as listening to an electric fan, or pink noise, such as the sound of rain or waves on a beach. There are lots of relaxation techniques for sleep on YouTube, or apps such as Calm, Insight Timer, and Headspace. Writing down worries or concerns that may be causing stress and anxiety in a worry book can be helpful. If worrying thoughts are stopping us from sleeping, knowing that we have written them down can be reassuring. We can tell ourselves that we do not need to worry about them right now. If sleep does not come easily, laying down in bed in the dark with your eyes open and saying to yourself, sleep will come when it is ready, and resisting the urge to close your eyes for a few minutes may help you to drift off to sleep more easily. If you are struggling to get to sleep, try getting up after 20 minutes may help. Perhaps go into another room and snuggle into a blanket with the lights dimmed. Once you feel sleepy, go back to bed. Do not engage on your phone or do any stimulating activity such as tidying the kitchen, as you do not want to reward your brain for keeping you awake. If you are struggling to switch off mentally and physically, engaging in a breathing technique such as the 4-7-8 technique can be effective. You do this by breathing in for a count of 4, holding the breath for a count of 7, and slowly breathing out for a count of 8. Engaging in 3 or 4 rounds of this rhythmical breathing pattern can help to activate the parasympathetic nervous system, our relaxation response, helping the muscles to relax and the brain to calm down. If you are struggling to quieten down the mind, the 10-1 technique can be helpful. This is where you breathe in, then breathe out very slowly, and in your mind say 10. Breathe in, and on the out breath say 9 in your mind, and so on and so forth all the way down to 1. If your mind starts worrying, overthinking, or thinking about all the things it needs to do tomorrow, go back to the beginning and start at 10 again. No matter how many times your mind creates thoughts, try not to do anything with them. Just concentrate on breathing in and out and counting down from 10 to 1. This is a good technique for training the brain that it is time to switch off and go to sleep. You can also try this technique if you wake up during the night. Repeating a mantra in your head, like calm or sleep, can also be a helpful strategy to deflect your mind from worrying thoughts. Focusing our attention on what has gone well during the day can also be helpful. There may be simple things that have given you pleasure, such as eating something delicious, listening to a favourite piece of music, or stroking a pet. When we focus on pleasurable things, we are giving our brain the message that we are safe and it is okay to switch off and go to sleep. Sometimes, no matter what we do, we just cannot get to sleep. On those nights, just allow your body to lay there and reassure yourself that even though you are not asleep, your body is still at rest. To prevent you from tossing and turning and getting frustrated, engaging in relaxation techniques that you know work for you may be all you can do to help your body and mind to relax. There are also tips to support us in waking up. This is particularly important during winter months when it is dark in the mornings. Increasing the light stimulus into our brain can help stimulate those hormones that wake us up and keep us awake. When we wake up, we may expect our body to get up and go, especially if we have commitments and deadlines such as getting to work or the children off to school. We can expend a lot of energy rushing, which can set the tone for the day ahead. You can help to ease the body and mind into the day by giving yourself a couple of minutes in the morning to carry out a wind-up routine. For example, by putting on the light, sitting up in bed, engaging in some gentle stretches, and completing a simple mental challenge. Getting exposure to natural daylight after you wake up in the morning, preferably at the same time every day, can help to reset your circadian clock, as the light will hit the pineal gland, whose function is to let in light and darkness. Perhaps go and stand outside for a couple of minutes, or go out for a little walk in the morning. There are many strategies to help you to improve your sleep, and sometimes it can be hard to know where to start. Just committing to one or two things that you can realistically change or focus on can be a good starting point. Changing our habits and routine is not easy, but with time, practice, patience, and commitment, you can start to improve your sleep and sleep routine. In the sleep booklet, there is a daily habits and routines chart that you can complete to help you to identify if there are any patterns or practices that you are carrying out during the day which may be hindering the quality of your sleep. For example, drinking caffeine too late in the day. There is also a sleep diary that you can use to record your sleep routine, which may assist you in understanding the difficulties that you are experiencing with sleep. In this video, we have covered what to do if you are sleeping too much, sleeping during the day, sleeping too little, and general tips to support and help regulate sleep. We hope that you have found these videos on sleep helpful.